everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Assorted Duties. I am your host, Arthur Reynolds, and today's episode is going to be on whether we think men and women who are in a relationship can have an opposite sex as a friend. Now, diving right into it, and everything as I said previously in my uh, other episodes, everything that I'm giving here is based off of just my opinion and how I feel about things. Again, I try to incorporate other people's thought process into this. So if you feel like you have something you would like to say about it, please shoot me an email. All right. Now, as I said, diving into this, uh, in my opinion, as a man in a relationship with a woman, seeing whether I can have a friend, a female friend, and it be strictly platonic, uh, nothing going on, no hanky panky of any kind. if if that's something that can happen, and there are cases where it could happen, and I believe that all these things are based on individuals in its entirety. There are some people who cannot just be friends with a female without there being some type of attachment or willingness to be attached to that person, and vice versa. There are men in that same, or women in that same scenario, that feels as though no, if you get to hanging around someone long enough, you start developing feelings for that person. I think that is true. I think that is very true, and it. I don't think I want to limit it to women or men hanging around men or women. You know, in that aspects, there are shady people out here who feel as though hanging out with their girlfriends who have a man, that that particular person is single, has an attraction to your man. So, or there are some single men out here hanging around with their partners that have a relationship and find themselves attracted to their partner's girl. So, those are some slippery slopes that you slide down when you start venturing into these things. And don't get it messed up. That doesn't change the fact that if you have a partner that has a relationship and you're in a relationship, doesn't mean that these things can't happen. These are things that can and have happened and will continuously to happen. I don't have an answer on how you can go about trying to prevent any of this. The only thing I can say is when you're in that kind of situation, you basically know what type of person you're hanging with. You can tell by the type of dudes you're with and how they act when they're not around their woman. And what kind of respect he has for you. How he treated his other friends when he lived in another town or another state, or how he acts around you when he's not around someone else that y'all both may hang around, and how he talks about his relationship or whatever have you. And then that kind of gives you a feel on what type of person he is. If he's eyeballing his girl and he's not around, but yet not just eyeballing her, but he's speaking about it, you know what I mean? Then that kind of gives you an indication on what type of individual he can be. Doesn't mean he is, but the type of individual he can be. So this is stuff that I've come to experience in my life by observation and also living it. There was a point in time where you have that bro code, so to speak, and all of a sudden you're no longer with a particular female and your homie hooks up with her. It was supposed to be a bro code where that's not supposed to happen. So you now know the bro code don't apply to that particular person. So, in that sense, when you have that, you learn that okay, I know the depth to what this person is willing to go, and not just that, what was happening the whole time while we were together, hanging out and stuff like that. Like, was there something going on behind my back? Some eye contact, some foot play under the table, anything of this nature. These are things that do occur, and I don't know what you do about something like that. I really don't. For me, myself, I myself have no problem in just cutting you off and just be like strictly, hey, what's up, how you doing, kind of friendship. There's no let's go hang out, let's go here, let's go there, come on over to my house, I'm gonna come over to your house. That kind of stuff is not going to happen anymore. Strictly for the fact that I don't trust you. And this is where pretty much everything stems from, and everything as far as your relationship with your lady or with your man, uh, on whether you think she can be friends with another guy. Now, if we're talking about a heterosexual man, we find that threatening as men for our lady to be friends with another heterosexual man, because we know how men can be. We know that men have a tendency, we do develop those sexual emotions when wanting to be friends with women. And there's usually a hidden agenda. So, and that's not all men. So, but that does happen where there's like that hidden agenda where you want to secretly sleep with that person, as well as women. Same thing. Same thing. There's nothing different with that. Uh, I don't know if women understand how men are when it comes to trust factors, but we know how men are. Just like you women know how women are. You don't want us to be friends with a female, and we don't want you to be friends with a male. If he's gay, then we still are skeptic of that. Especially if a person has a gay person wasn't always gay or hid it long enough to where he had a child. And same thing for a female. If that female was so called gay, butch, want to be one of the fellas, then now all of a sudden she's my friend, but she has a daughter or a son, whatever. She has a child. And in that process, we're supposed to be friends. I I don't know because you know she had a child, so she's experienced sex at one point or another. If they did it the natural way, now with all this fertility stuff going on, so um, that just creates a insecure environment. Um, it doesn't mean that your woman or your man is insecure. It's just that they know how people of their same sex can be. So it's that trust factor. Whether I trust you is one thing, but I don't know what's the other person's hidden agenda. I don't know what's going on in their mind, and that's the trust that we don't have. And that's where, if you're my partner, my woman, your man, however you want to call it, um, you have to have that trust. because trust is the biggest thing in your relationship. And if you don't, if he, it's not that if he don't trust you, it's that everything after that is just not going to work. Period. In his or her mind, if that trust is gone, it doesn't matter. It's not going to happen. It's just not. So you can go ahead and think about uh, trying to say, well, I'm not going to stop doing this. I'm not going to stop because I've been this person's friend, or I've been that person's friend way before I met you, or, ever since we've been together, all of that. Then at this point, leave that person alone. If they ain't willing to sacrifice that for your relationship, then your relationship isn't as important as you think it is. And if that's the case, that person's got to go out your life, because it's not going to do nothing but create a bunch of headaches for you down the road. And that's where it is. If that person is willing to, look at what's more important, your relationship with you, or their relationship with that person that they're saying is their friend. If that relationship with their friend is more important than the relationship with you, then by all means, that relationship that you're in needs to go. And that's just the bottom line, because it's not going to change. And once you start down that road, that's what's going to happen. So they got that decision to make, or you have that decision to make. Either way, the decision needs to be made. And if you continue to allow that, then it's going to perpetuate itself into something different. And you're going to find yourself in different situations that you're not going to like. And you're going to always be uncomfortable with it. So if by chance the trust factor is with the person that you're friends with, listen to your man, understand your man, understand your woman, listen to your woman when they speak about these things, because they're saying to you stuff that they already know and how they are uncomfortable with that. If she says or he says to you, listen, the dude is no good. I know how he is. We know how that has to. We know you need to stop. So it's not you. I don't. It's not that I don't trust you. If that's what every person you have a friendship with, then that's one thing. He just doesn't trust other men, and there's nothing wrong with that. Or she just don't trust other women. You know what I mean? Now, if it's a friend that, a mutual friend, say a cousin, and she's okay with your cousin. Now, I'm hoping you ain't sleeping with your cousin, or wanting to sleep with your cousin. I'm hoping that there is at least a cousin, a sister, something that doesn't create a threat to your woman or your man. So I hope it's not to that extent where you can't have not a female friend or a male friend. If it's your brother, um, then that's fine. And where, unless your brother's trying to hook you up with other dudes, that's very disrespectful. And that's something, again, we're back to respect. Respecting that person, knowing that that person has that respect for you, wouldn't allow you to do that because they respect you as a family member. They see you as part of the family. You're important to his or her family's life as far as her brother or sister, um, and you have that much respect in the family that they wouldn't try to hook you up with someone else, and they wouldn't allow you to go off and try to hook up with someone else. But again, there you have that, and that brings us back to the respect factor in which we were talking about earlier. So when you're talking about being friends with another female or being friends with another male, you know, can is that how do you handle that? How do you go about that? Well, again, keep it strictly in a point where the only time I'm gonna go be around you is when I'm with my lady, or the only time I'm gonna be around you is when I'm with my man. So that way, I'm not hanging with you outside of those parameters. We're not going to the mall together. We're not going to go catch a movie together, a concert together, a comedy show. We're not doing anything where you and I are hanging out, just you and I. That's where problems begin, and that's where summer relationships end because of those type of situations. You're hanging out with each other, you're doing too much. uh I don't want to hang out with you tonight. Oh, well, I feel like going and I'm going to call such and such. Well, you go ahead. You go right ahead. The door will be locked when you get back here and the locks will be changed. So you might as well go ahead and get a hotel and do what you got to do. But um, that goes for both sides. That's neither one side or the other. If you are respectful to your man, you'd understand that, hey, just because I don't feel like going out somewhere now, if he says, by all men, or if she says, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I don't feel like going out tonight. I'm cool. I just want to be in the house tonight. You go ahead, have fun. And you go ahead out and you go ahead and have fun. If you don't, it comes to respect once again when you hanging out. If you are hanging out and going out to try to meet someone else or something else new, then I don't even know what you're in the relationship for. You shouldn't even be in the relationship you're in if you're busy searching for something else. Now, I understand sometimes you may be done with your relationship and you're just going about it and you already know that your relationship is over. You're just going about your business and it's like, so what? I'm going to go do me now. I get that. And that's comes from a lot of things that has previously already created that situation. And what that was, only you know that. Hopefully, it had nothing to do with uh, being friends with the opposite sex. You know, uh, so I'm wondering, how would you go about that situation? What is your opinion on the topic of today? I've given you mine. I would love to hear from you. Uh, Please subscribe to my channel and click the like button. And if you wish to email me, you can also email me at a.v.reynolds at YouTube. All right? So just know that these are just opinions and please don't take them to heart, but it's also food for thought. It makes you think about situations that you may be in and how you have choices on how you need to go about them. So, I'd like you to, you know, let me know. Give me your feedback on this. All right? I'm your host, Arthur Reynolds. This is another episode of Assorted Duties. And until next time, have a great day.